So for me, it's more of in the moment. Yeah. If I see it, I'll do it.
I feel like easy professional careers kama daktari, it's like they're being overtaken by events.
I think with life, you need to keep an open mind because neither one of us has a formula.
Oh, I want to be a veterinarian. You realize you don't like blood. Oh, I want to be CG what. You realize,
That's not for me.
Oh, I want to be this. I stopped saying I want to be what I am.
As you know, in an African home, you have to take the freedom for yourself. As young people, I think it's important to actually take financial lessons. If marriage is something that you're looking to do, at the end of the day, still, you have to organize yourself because you're not going to suffer with the people you've brought in this world. Doing content is not the easiest. People think it's easy, but it's not. You can have the talent, the content, the everything.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is discipline. The biggest enemy of every individual is complaining. Your environment is not something you chose. Yeah. These are things that just shaped you. We started doing content even before content was a thing.
Content was content.
Yeah. You, as someone who's also starting out, getting a camera doesn't necessarily mean you've gone professional.
Hello world, welcome to yet another episode of the Ideal Corner podcast. As usual, Lady Hawi is in the house. The whole crew is in. Wash, Kalonje, Ray, and we have guests. Today tuko full, packed.
Full house.
Full house. And then bro, mi hata sijui nikupiga intro aje. Hii leo ni ngumu.
Wacha nikusaidie na hiyo.
Let it come from a lady voice, man.
Wacha nikusaidie na hiyo. Wacha niseme.
Yeah, say it.
The man that makes images beautiful. Not just still images, but moving images.
Yeah.
Not just a videographer, as we like to call anybody mwenye ameshika camera. Ati huyu ni photographer, huyu ni videographer.
Huyu ni mtu wa picha.
Cinematographer.
Yeah.
Himself. Mr. Boran.
Man, welcome to the pod, man.
Thank you so much.
Karibu bana. Hata tukupigia shout out yako moja hapo hatari. Karibu sana. So hapa ndo Ideal Corner podcast. Najua umekuwa ukisikia but at least leo umekaribia, umefika, unaona mali space vile inakaa.
Kuna kafiti by the way.
So before tuende mbali, si uanza na hii swali ya ujinga. How's life, man?
Well, I'm still breathing. There's that. Zingine tutajua.
But there's somewhere I watched, mtu alisema bana sasa hii you have to be cautious ukiuliza hiyo swali. Ndio mtu anaweza kuangushia shida zake zote.
Anza kwambia
bro, mimi hata jana sijui nini. Afungue kila kitu bana. But hata ni vizuri umeniuliza hiyo swali. Nilikuwa na pay bill fulani hapa hivi. Nilikuwa nangoja mtu ataniuliza hiyo swali. Before you go far, mbele yako there's a deck of cards. Chagua moja alafu tuambie vile ina relate na life yako.
Okay.
Yeah. One random card.
I didn't do anything. Ajitoa.
Is it supposed to be this way?
Any side, pick a side. Then you read it for us.
There's no...
Hiyo unalenga ndo yako.
Ametana haraka.
Umekataa ndo yako.
There is no wealth but life. And then there is... the discipline of writing something down is the first step toward making it happen. Yeah.
So which one relates more to you?
Ama zote ni zako.
I think both are unrelated to me. Because I believe that our brains work differently. Because for me, sometimes I would write something down. But the fact that I've written it down doesn't mean that I might pick that book up again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for me, it's more of in the moment. If I see it, I'll do it.
Spoken as a true cinematographer.
I know, right? If I see it, I'll do it.
If I see it, I'll do it.
You just want to capture the moments, yeah? The other one?
There's no wealth but life.
Unakumbuka nikikuuliza ile swali ya how's life, man? Ukaniambia tu I'm just breathing.
The most important thing is breathing. Because at the end of the day, we wake up, we chase a lot of things, ideas, goals. But let's say, for instance, you're able to achieve your goal today, but that would be the last day you breathe.
That will
we all
suck,
know what
that will suck for you, man.
Yeah, we all know
right?
what we would choose.
Yeah.
We would choose to breathe. So yeah, there's no else but life. Yeah.
Okay.
It's deep.
Yeah, so Mr. Boran,
Yeah.
you know us kwa hii pod tunaanzanga na create a background, at least the audience they're able to understand our guest now.
Okay.
So we would like to ask, how was your childhood like?
Zandani
Zandani sasa hizo
Ni kitambo.
ati ni kitambo. Hey,
Ni kitambo.
lakini
years
sana,
ago.
it's a few years.
I wouldn't say I think my childhood was eventful. Probably, I mean, the line of work that I'm in, because of the way my childhood was. Tulikuwa tunacheza sana.
Yeah.
So I think that has a huge part to do with me pursuing my passion, talent as passion. Instead of sitting in an office, 9 to 5. It's not a bad thing, but we are all just looking for, at the end of the day, whatever nakubamba.
Yeah, true. You kumaanisha from your childhood ulikuwa ushajua to this is the path you want to take in life?
Not per se, but as a child I really liked to watch cartoons. Yeah.
Which was the best cartoon?
Ed and Eddie.
Thank you. It makes a lot of sense now.
There was that, and then there was also Kids Next Door.
Kids Next
Massive.
Door.
Yeah, Cartoon
Ed
Network
and Eddie.
was one of my favorite channels.
Watoto wa siku hizi wana miss out on a lot mbaya
Do
sana.
they even watch cartoons nowadays?
I feel like hata siku hizi hata cartoons nikaa hakuna, man.
Za siku hizi
Cartoon na
ziko na-
Cocomelon tu.
and
Apart
that's
from
it.
that,
Na hii ingine yenye inakaa adult content yenye unajifanya ni ya watoto. Roblox.
Roblox.
Well,
Roblox is a game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game anyone anaweza cheza, so
huyu unajua anaongea vitu zenye mtoto wake anapenda kuwatch.
Unashtuka tu uko in another room unasikia tu yeah.
Unashinda what's happening? Who is this adult in my house? Unaenda unapata ni mtoi. Oh man.
yeah.
So utoto umesema cartoons ndo zilikuwa.
Yeah, I watched a lot of cartoons.
Yeah.
And I think as I was growing up, I figured I would do something related to that. Because mimi nilikuwa nalala sana class.
Wala. Kwanza umegrow up wapi? Hapa Kisumu ama?
All over the place. I think Kisumu nimekuwa for like just a few years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's been Nairobi, huku wenda ukae na shosho nini, unaona. Yeah, but so as I was growing up into high school and that's when I started to understand that we could do some of these things. We could learn some of these things in Kenya, because most of us grow up kutaka kuwa engineers, lawyers, nini.
That was always the dream.
Yeah, I think in primary ukiulizwa hizo ndo zilikuwa dream, because that's all we knew.
Unataka kwa nini?
Pilot.
Daktari. Sijui nurse, mwalimu.
So those are the people we interacted with.
Yeah.
That was your environment. Daktari, teacher, nini. So into high school, nikaanza ku understand you could do videography, nini.
Oh.
Yeah, so when I was finishing high school, I pursued 3D animation and digital media.
Oh.
I didn't do videography per se or photography. My major was 3D animation, but then it came with, because it's a full circle.
Yeah. Kuna venye zina correlate too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever you understand in photography is what you understand in videography. Translates to 3D, because you still need things like lighting. Yeah, so
angles.
It's still the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But hii lighting yetu tunaweza fanya nini?
By the way, I just didn't want to say it when you was here. I didn't want him to come in and then aanze tu kazi. Boran, kama tuweke aje.
Tuko na expert leo. Hata tuambie lighting tunaweza fanya.
Tutapatana nyuma ya tent afterwards.
Well, for your set, entirely depends for your set.
Yeah.
And the type of equipment you're using. That's for the cameras. Yeah. But so far so good. Also depends with what you're going for, because lighting isn't just putting on the light.
True.
Yeah. So entirely depends with whatever is behind the camera. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Ndo ina matter.
Determine whatever I'm seeing. over
okay.
here.
For our listeners, you will notice the difference. I'm sure you will see something has changed after Boran.
Itabidi.
Before and after Boran.
Yeah. But I think for you, I would say we already ulikusha skip nikisikia from your journey. Already ulishajua because me sahi na hii span yenye tuko in life. I feel like easy professional careers kama daktari nini, it's like they're being overtaken by events.
Yeah. You see, well, also
is it that hii kutembea nilifanya ukokuwa exposed sana ama
probably like I said, the certain events that happen in your childhood that shape the way you think and
the way you act,
your outcome. So probably it's because I interacted with certain people and then the seed. Plus I used to watch a lot. I liked TV. I liked TV, and most of the books I read were fiction. Maybe any book to do with the teaching, I didn't ask a kichwa na nyuma, but if it's fiction, I would really enjoy it. Books like Tintin, like I liked visuals.
Adventures.
Mimi hata sijui. Mimi daily
hapo huku kusoma Tintin.
Hai bro, mimi kusoma tena hapo. Kwa shida sisi ilikuwa wale wa kulazimishwa bro.
Read your books.
Bana juu naambia at the end of the day usiposoma utakuwa anything. But it's also true in some way because tuseme tu life yako kuna venye it leads you to that thing that you'll end up doing in life. Maybe you had an interest in it per se, na ulikuwa unaona at the end of the day mtu kama mimi sikuwa his space. Me I wanted to be a lawyer, I can't lie. But now life kuna venye life na grades zina kupush to side ingine. But maybe destiny yangu, this is where
this is where it lies. I think with life you need to keep an open mind because neither one of us has a formula. No one has a formula of how things work. Because we all have different goals. Someone's goal is to be a billionaire. Someone's goal is just to be alive. So these people have different perception of wealth. So for you, having cars and whatever is wealth. But for him, just having to wake up in the morning, that's enough.
What did you want to be?
I think I was...
funny thing, I've never asked you this question.
I think I was a very weird child. Very weird.
Ulikuwa unaenda tuna vibes and inshallah.
Niko na my 3 imaginary friends. Tunacheza vizuri. You are asked, what do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a veterinarian. You realize you don't like blood. Oh, I want to be what? You realize,
that's not for me.
Oh, I want to be this. I stopped saying I want to be what I am. I just started saying I am. Whatever I am at that moment, I am. So kinipata I am a dancer. At that point, I am a dancer. Kama sahi, I am a podcaster.
So, I hope uta stick kwa hii. This is where you belong.
Ray,
you're shocked.
How is a dancer?
I'm a dancer.
Amazing.
Have you seen those stores of Mjengo?
Kwendeni. In fact, the first time I actually got to meet Boran was because I was called to be a video vixen. Not the type you're imagining. See, like bubbly. Video vixen in a video that he was shooting. So that's actually the first time I got to work with Boran. But Boran, I've never asked you. What was it like? Working with me, don't compare what you like working with me.
Mpatie the brutal honesty. Hapo usimweke. Kama ni ile clip ulikuwa na dance salsa. Nio. How is it that one?
It's that one.
Oh my goodness.
That was a couple of years ago. It's been 3 or 4?
3. It's been 6 years.
6 years?
That was 2019.
Damn, okay.
6 good years.
2019. We've known each other since 2019.
Imagine, it's mad.
Makosani yangu. Yeah. But
na feel nikana third wheel. Wacha nikae kando kidogo. Any reunion fulani
I think it was a
don't
nice,
lie, Boran.
Wait,
bro.
Why you guys look like you want to lie?
Wacha nikwambie, ude mkimchota hapa hatutalala. Mwambie tu ukweli.
Basi nika tunamjua differently. Kuna version mnajua na kuna version najua.
Mi kuna version najua yenye inafanyanga kichwa, nikimwona kichwa inaanza tu kuchapa hivi.
Unasema tu
najua tu bana, fuck it. Another day to deal with.
Alikuwa mpole hiyo time. Maybe amechange. Maybe Kisumu imemfanya nini. But alikuwa mpole
hiyo time. I was fresh from Uganda.
Yeah.
Inafaa tukurudisha huko 2 weeks
alafu mmoja huyu alikuwa mpole.
Nilikuwa mpole, si jokes. Nilikuwa mpole.
Wewe ngoja, umemjua how many days?
Umemjua lakini
how many? Imepita hata week.
Imepita week.
Kwendeni. Kwendeni.
3 weeks now.
No, but let me now speak of my experience.
No, wacha aseme kwanza. Wacha aseme.
Ni kama mmemweka sasa hataki kusema juu utasema na nichocha.
Ndio hiyo. Hawi was a great dancer by the way. Was a nice dancer.
Unadanganya bana.
Our video took like less than 5 hours.
Kwanza hiyo video
hiyo
video tutaiweka ikirun hapa. Wacha comment section. Video itakuwa ina run hapa.
Yeah, it took a short time. Yeah. So you heard I was a good dancer.
Yeah, I was a good dancer.
That is it. Me working with Boran for the first time.
A good dancer with 2 feet.
Kwani inafanya kwa ina tired. I should have 3.
2 left feet.
Maybe I have 3 but
2 left feet. I don't want to look at you like that, man.
So unasema mini boys.
Najua ni boys hizo toes, lakini sasa tena ukisema uko na 3 legs. Sawa mtu wa 3 leg tuambie.
Yeah, no, my first experience with Boran, the first thing I noticed yenye ili like capture my attention.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this guy? Na ametoka wapi? Juu isi ya Kisumu.
Nini si ya Kisumu?
Like there are certain angles he was taking like the
bado tunaongelea cinematography.
Of course.
Nasikia isi ya Kisumu.
Of course. Where like toa kichwa yako kwa gata. Get off the streets.
Maybe okay, explain it if you explain though to
get off the
angles.
Streets. No, like his vision of what it was supposed to be like we'll do a scene outside in the garden, the stairs, we need this angle, do this, do that. Hiyo ni shida yako. That is your problem. That is your problem. No, I was intrigued by number one, how professional Boran was. That was first thing I noticed. Communication was very good. Like Kisumu is not easy. You can come to Kisumu and then you tell somebody, kuna video tunashoot. Unafika on set at the time they've told you. Mwenye anashoot hiyo video hata hajafika. Ama anafika akujui. Ama anafika ajui anataka nini. So yeah, Boran very professional.
Uliona discipline tu fulani ukasema hisi ya huko.
Hisi ya Kisumu for sure. That was my first thought. Like umse ametoka US ama ametoka wapi?
Yes. Buda.
Uni US ama
sema leo ni kubata tu mna watu
hope Mungu amekusikia.
Leo watu wana
you give flowers where flowers are deserved. Just like when the flowers are not deserved, tunasemanga.
Yeah.
Unasema kweli ama mimi ndo mnaniekaga kwa spotlight.
So when the dark horse, the black sheep.
Anyway, Boran, for me I can say apart from clips umepiga na Flacco na yeye yenye amesema, I think siwezi sema nime-encounter kazi yako sana, but from hizo zenye nimeona, bro, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Wallahi unafanya kazi mzuri mbaya sana. How is it working with Flacco? Because mimi naweza patiana beat yangu. Mimi nilisoma na Omse Primo.
Na uni deski.
Tulikuwa hadi deski at one point. Alikuwa hadi piri. Mimi nilikuwa namuona na line. Siko aijua ati Omse ndo line atachukua. Yeah.
I think pia unajua you never know because there's a way our parents raise us. There's a vision our parents have for us. And sometimes we take that shape because that's all we know. So in an African home, you have to take the freedom for yourself. So probably hakuwa nakaa hivyo at that time because of back home. Unajua mzazi akisikia, unataka kufanya nini? Soma, unaona. So na hata pia si mistake yao because they know what they've gone through. They know what life is like if you don't follow a certain path. Because you see a few years ago, podcast, the entertainment industry wasn't a thing. Like you wouldn't earn so much from it. That's out on the previous guys wanafungwa pay bill nini. The fault is in theirs. It's just that it wasn't appreciated at the time as it is now. it's not where it should be, but at least say you can actually earn a living from it.
But do you think people really earn from this thing?
Yeah, people do.
Like earn ile ku earn proper.
Yeah, people do. People do. Is you see, the thing is, sometimes you can handle a certain amount of money, but when you don't understand the aspect of money and the
financial
business side,
management,
exactly.
And all that,
So most of us, we weren't taught money. We were taught, go to school, do this, get work, blah blah blah. There was a formula to it.
Yeah.
There was a formula to it, but no one was teaching you how to maintain the formula. Because you handle the money, but you don't know what to do with the money.
Yeah.
So you get yourself in these situations where you get this money, then you think, there's more going to come, nini. Then suddenly, it's not there. You don't know what you've done with it. But there's money in it, though. Yeah.
Financial management.
There's money in this thing.
As young people, I think it's important to actually take financial lessons.
Yeah.
You try as much as you can to understand money. Yeah, because pesa na unaweza pata. Sasa huwezi pata.
Sasa vile utaitumia.
Vile utaitumia, how you will handle it. That's all that matters.
I can only imagine tumeenda hizo classes alafu hiyo pesa hana.
Itakuja.
Lazima uangalie tu sides zote. There are two sides of a coin, man.
But stage 1 is understanding.
Yes, the knowledge is there.
So
imagine the type of depression unaweza kuwa na usha prepare tu, yani kwa akili yako unasema hii pesa ni ikiai kuja hivi ndio nafaa
save 20%.
Alafu ikose kukame.
Ikose kukuja. But the thing is, it's just that sometimes we get over ambitious. Unaona? Hata mtu anauza tu smoky mayai. Anapata pesa.
Making good money daily.
Yeah, ana make good money daily.
Ukipiga hiyo hesabu hata unapata
the difference between somebody else who understands money and the other guy ni probably you see, for us we have certain things that probably limit the way we end up in life. Ntamaliza high school, ntamaliza high school, maybe go to college. Then from college I'm expecting to get work. Luckily I get work. Nikishapata kazi, maybe 1 year in, I feel like I'm comfortable. What do I do next?
Gari.
Ni kuoa, wewe unafikiria
gari.
Well, gari is part of the extras, but for us the marriage is like a rite of passage. So nitaoa, nikuwe na watoto, unaona.
Ukingojea kifo.
Nikingoja kifo sasa, because now that's success in an African setup. Unaona. So mtu smoky labda kona watoto wawili. No, the money would be enough for one person. But sasa usha introduce watu watatu, umeintroduce bibi, umeintroduce watoto wawili.
Hiyo ni extra.
That is extra mouths to feed, extra mouths to whatever. But already ushajieka in a place where now you have to work hand to mouth. But then there's the other guy with the smoky stand who saves his money.
Ni juu ajaoa, si ndio?
Yeah, ajaoa.
Hajapata watoto.
Please don't give Oscar excuses here.
Oscar
na hapa hii story na kuna venye Mungu anampanga tu like get ready.
So umesema bana.
So inakupea chance to think about what to do with your money. Save, invest, blah blah blah, unaona. So at the end of the day is a matter of you have to organize yourself. Unaona. If marriage is something that you're looking to do, at the end of the day still, you have to organize yourself, because you're not going to suffer with the people you've brought in this world. Our parents did that. And we've all seen how that went. Our parents did it. Yeah, because for them, uspooa ni...
You're not responsible.
Treat you.
Yes, you're not responsible. You're not somebody in the society.
Hata ufai kusimama mali watu wasimama.
At your big age.
Mtu ana bi, you see?
Yeah.
Language like that. But when you realize the way the African home is set up, we grow up together. Then at some point we
tunapart ways.
Yeah. So it's so hard to compete with the communities like, let's say, Indian families who don't believe in you ukifika 18 you're supposed to
utoke kwa nyumba.
You should go and build your own.
So for them they're comfortable because they understand there's a way that life works.
They keep it together.
You can build your own from within.
Together.
Within. Me staying with my son in the same roof with the beard doesn't mean anything. It just means, well, that could go two ways. Kuna mtu anaishi kwao at a certain age, but akona ka ujinga fulani. But kuna mtu anaishi kwao so that he sets himself up well
akona
for the future.
discipline flani.
Akona discipline flani nini. And when you notice, even when our parents have businesses nini, they don't really take you through their business.
They don't teach you.
You see? They believe like you should start something on your own, you should do on your own nini. But if you teach your children your business, even if you die,
they can
still take over and continue.
You know, speaking of which, financial management, I will still naweza kuweka kwa hiyo I will still classify you as a creative. Kuna pia hii pressure ya hao watu wenye wako nje. There are certain expectations yenye amekuwekea bro, aje lazima uroll na gari. Lazima sijui ufanye nini. So how would you, tuseme you as Boran, how do you think now we should be able to counter vitu hizo?
I think you as an individual, when you decide to be in that space, you should understand what comes with it. Don't act surprised when certain things happen. You see, at some point in your life, you wanted people to know you. You wanted to be famous so bad. But then when your fans meet you out there, you show them an attitude because you are tired. No, you knew what came with that. Yeah. So you should appreciate the process. You should also appreciate being there. Your fans don't know whether you're moody or whatever. They'll just come say hi.
That's not even their concern. They don't want
it takes a lot of self-reflection.
Yes, they don't want to meet a moody. They want to meet that guy that we know.
Exactly. So you before you step into that realm, you have to first understand what comes with it. If people expect me to be in big cars, nini, then I should also understand that. I necessarily don't have to buy a big car to impress them, but it's social media. It's whatever I post,
there's an image.
Temporary. You could see me in big cars on social media, but you would probably never see me in person.
But why are you posting big cars if you don't?
It's entertainment.
Content.
It's content, entertainment. That's it.
Hey bro, hiyo ni kujiwekea pressure mingi, and then the next day
tunakuona that's what I'm saying.
You're trending.
Yeah, that's why you have to understand what comes with it.
Yeah.
If you decide to post big cars, you have to understand what comes with it. People have an expectation of you. And you also have to understand people don't like to watch people they think they're better than. That's how it works.
That's a new angle to look at it.
When you're scrolling on YouTube, even for you just as an audience, normally when you see a video that's have low views, it's rare for you to click on that. It doesn't matter how good that video looks, the thumbnail looks, but you're not going to click on it because you feel like if people are not watching this, then why am I?
Bad.
Subconsciously, you're just going to skip it. But then, if a video pops up, a thumbnail pops up, and it's something new,
Mr.
and
Beast.
it's like 1 million views, let alone Mr. Beast, is that at least people know him. But this is like just some random page just popping out. You'll have that curiosity. Who's this? Let me anafanya nini? Mbona kona 1 million views? So it's easier for you to click because you have this perception of kuna kitu anafanya yenye ni interesting than what I do. That's why people watch vlogs. And these people who do vlogs utaona hoteli flani nini, so you're wondering the whole week umekuwa ukienda 5-star hotels. Unaona? It's not something you do on a normal day, you as an audience. But you want to watch it because they're doing it
through them.
So there's a few lucky people who do kibandoski nini and they get views. But content like that would probably never make it because if it's something naweza toka hapa na niende nikule kwa kibandoski, something I would do. Why me watching your video doesn't make it any interesting. But kuna mtu ajai kanyaga Kempinski. But now they see you living this life nini, so they'd watch it because they perceive you to be doing something they probably would love to do.
That's a deep, you ilikuwa deep talk. But to me I would say I'd rather have a following hata kama ni watu watano, ni wale watu wenye najua
ni watu
wangu other than nikuwe na hizo views zote ama na hiyo following wote and I don't have influence kwa watu. That's always my take. So
exactly, so that's why ni wewe ku understand ni nini unataka at the end of the day. So if you want the fame, you have to understand what comes with it. Akina Diana and Bahati, they do it so well. In real life, they're probably not those people.
We actually found out during this digital content creators, whatever, from MC Jesse. That iyo bedroom yenye tunaonanga, si bedroom yao, iyo ni set. That is not the actual bedroom. That is the bedroom they allow us to see.
Fuck it, man.
Hata kwa stairs alikuwa
Fuck
anasema
it to just saw. What are they feeding people out here? What are they feeding? Wanna feed
no,
what
it's content. It's
Bro,
content.
you are giving people unnecessary pressure outside here.
Why are you being
as an
pressured
audience,
by
you choose what you want to watch.
You can't choose. Zengine wazi choose.
Why are you taking
Zengine
Panadol
already
for someone's headache?
algorithm
Inakuonyesha.
so utafanya nini?
Yeah, but that's the thing about social media. The algorithm only shows you what your record, your history. You see, if you click on something repeatedly, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing. But if it's a similar content, now it starts suggesting
You like food, take
you
food.
would like this. Or sometimes maybe when people usually share Wi-Fi, so if somebody in this space is connected to the same Wi-Fi and watches Diana Bahati, so there's likelihood you'll get a suggestion for Diana Bahati and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Lakini watu wache kulive a lie, man.
Why are you taking
But
Panadol for someone's headache?
That's how they earn.
You
That's
live
how
your life.
You're umeniuliza. That's how you make money out of it.
Yeah.
By living a fake life.
By living a fake life. Yeah.
Ni set.
Hawi, would you fake it?
Kwani I'm not faking it right now.
What do you mean?
You think this is my real life?
What are you faking with your mjengotos?
You think this is my real life?
Although to add on that, on the creators thing, your story in living a fake life.
Yeah.
Kuna some people who are perfect at it.
Yeah.
Kabisa. So you as a creator yourself, unafaa kujijua. Because kuna some people who know how to juggle both sides. I know how to fake a life vizuri. Then behind the scenes, I know how to live the true me.
Exactly.
No. So it's now upon you as a content creator or a creator yourself, whether you mwenye ujijue. You don't get lost.
Draw the
You don't
line.
get lost within your
act.
Within your act and the lies you show people. I'm doing that to make money. I'm lying because of this and this and this. So be smart as a creator. Be smart.
You
don't get lost.
Hii kitu yote end goal ni tu pesa. Unapata pesa.
You think people sit with cameras in their house even too for fun? Like it's fun.
We are sitting here for fun.
Yes, but kuna siku saa zingine utaki hata kuona hii camera.
It's going to get to a point you need to actually monetize because you see for creators, or let's say for instance our production, the amount of equipment we have, the things we buy, the things we need to buy, it adds up. Yeah, it adds up.
You see, for us, at the end of the day, I don't want to make money through this pod fake and all that. Because this is just part of the conglomerate.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Ideal Corner, hapo kuna Ideal Properties, which deals now with real estate, and then there is Productions, which deals now with picture, cinematography and all that. So at the end of the day, Mr. Ka hapa nikidanganya mtu ati hizi ndo vitu tunafanya. You see? Yeah. For us, hapa eri to have real conversations, nikwambia bro ni hivi. Because through hii podcast ndo nimegundua mtu anaweza kuwa na smile na wewe hapo mali umekaa, but behind the scenes atakutafuta baadaye akwambie yenyewe bro man. Hivyo vile uliniona hiyo siku.
Si mimi.
Si hivyo.
Yeah.
But that's for you to like decide. Like I said, you have to understand what you're getting into. You decide what you want to do with your product. Because still at some point someone might come up and say I need this and this and this. But it's for you to draw the line useme hapa si ufanya hivi na hivi, so whatever you're selling me or telling me to sell to my audience is not something we agree with. So you draw the line. You draw the line. You don't necessarily have to fake it. You still would have an audience. And sometimes to that audience you can sell them an item maybe you believe there's something you use daily. Kuna a certain product you like,
Red Bull for editing.
There's a product you like, so probably you'll go that direction. You say this is a product I use, so why not? Why wouldn't I have it in my nini?
By the way, on the aspect of being real and fake, I feel like kuna some people being real in our favor. People unavile umesema una scroll through a post one like huyu ako na 1 view ama another post iko na 1 million views. Kuna some people being real favors them. Unaona utapata like nimeamua let me decide let me now create content of who are too real of who I am, whether I'm staying in nyumba yenye nakaa vile nataka, this is my content, ninakula like we cook our ugali mboga ndo mena hapo, rather than utukae then you're like oh we ordered pizza, we ordered nini,
tunakula
like,
wiu
hii nyumba tunakula ugali alafu to make it wasikwe ugali the brown ugali unaona
with
like,
wiu
mbona unachukia ugali ya brown bana yo sasa ndo ugali ya watu wako na pesa
melanated African bread.
Well, the thing is the human mind is quite interesting. Yeah, unaweza anza content for that particular reason pekee, but then your brain would want more.
Yeah.
Unaona, one day utascroll kwa page ya mtu and you feel like why am I not like, you see the comparison is as easy as just seeing
killer
something
of joy
na inakutrigger. Unaona, so at some point itakutrigger na useme why am I not like, and then the pressure now starts building up. You see, doing content is not the easiest. People think it's easy, but it's not. The days you don't even want to like turn on the camera or fanya nini, no. The days you don't want to do that, no. So it catches up to you, no. Yeah. So if I'm turning on the camera and nikona bills to pay and I don't have the money, I start asking myself questions. Why am I doing this? No. Why am I doing this? So and so is earning so much money from this. Why am I not doing this? And then now you start unaingia kwa the nini, kwa the system,
kwa performance.
So unaanza kuperform for your audience, because remember this is not something you're also going to do for a very long time. Yeah, at some point your interests change. You want to do something else, nini. Yeah. So remember, when you're doing something for a period of time, either way it's supposed to build you something that let's say you've done it for 5 years. Yeah. After 5 years I'm supposed to ask myself, what am I getting from these 5 years? Yeah. Am I starting afresh, or do I have something that is supposed to sustain me? No. Yeah. And right now, content is currency. Yeah. Right now, content is currency. Yeah. Even when you realize how TikTok, YouTube, Instagram in our work, when Instagram was starting out, it was like a family thing, family and friends.
Yeah.
Post, they would not show you to other people unless you are friends. Then came X, came Twitter, then came Twitter, then came YouTube. So TikTok, yeah. So TikTok changed the way the algorithm worked. No. TikTok, you post, anyone can see you. You can literally be famous in Nigeria, not Kenya. Unaweza kuwa na 500k followers, but no one knows you in Kenya. They know you in Nigeria. No.
Crazy.
So that's what TikTok did. Yeah. And when TikTok did that, people shifted to TikTok because tuna live in a space where everyone wants to be famous.
Who are these people? Because I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oscar's not on TikTok. We've tried. Tulijaribu mpaka tuka give up.
But TikTok is a sure bet for you to actually shoot. Unaona.
It's a good launching
TikTok is as easy as that. Neza shoot kitu.
As we don't like it easy, we like it hard.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's the best.
So that's how YouTube now works.
Yeah.
YouTube, you have to grind. And the best thing about YouTube is, grind and you build an audience. Yeah. These people stick with you.
Your community now.
It's a community-based style nini.
Yeah.
Platform. Now TikTok is the other way around.
Yeah.
People who follow you might never even see your content again.
TikTok now.
Yeah. TikTok, you can have a following of 10,000 people and you post something and you wonder, mbona iendi? It's because they've not seen it. And if you've uko, but people who are on TikTok, ukifollow mtu, the moment umemfollow, you realize you rarely see their content. Yeah. So the algorithm for TikTok works differently. But for YouTube, if it pushes it to you and you click it and you subscribe, there's likelihood you'll come back. Yeah.
Okay.
TikTok, I'll forget. But YouTube nitakuona and I'll come back. No. So as I was saying, so TikTok changed it in a way that when you've noticed how Instagram these days work. When you post on your timeline, you barely see people like it.
Yeah.
Unless they like push you to for you page. So right now it's hard to grow on Instagram than any other platform. Yeah, because wanajaribu kucopy what Nen is doing. TikTok is doing. Yeah. But then there are creators who started on YouTube, and most of the creators these days, walianza on YouTube, they like the YouTube algorithm. So you'd never see them on TikTok, nini, unaona. So they shift from these platforms. Like when Instagram copies TikTok, they leave Instagram. They go back to their YouTube audience.
So yani YouTube ni ka base tu sasa. Huko tu ndo watu watarudi at the end of the day.
YouTube actually inaenda hiyo direction ya TV. Like these days it's easier to find people watching YouTube on TV
that's true.
than any other nini. Plus it's free. There's a million content over there. And you've seen Nigerians wame shift from doing doing movies and selling to TVs to uploading them on YouTube
and having channels.
So YouTube inaenda hiyo direction.
Nice. Have you encountered Twitch? Umewapia na Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch. But Twitch mostly is a streaming platform.
Because I feel like a majority of individuals pia kuna
shift that
hiyo side. Vitu vile huko Africa sisi by the time itakuwa watu washapata pesa huko ndo tutanini baadaye.
Yeah, it takes time because well at the end of the day we are still Africans. There are certain things we didn't grow up with. There are certain traits we don't have. Unaona. Ni siku hizi ndo at least naona people can like just give you money for doing this content. Mtu anakutana kwambia thank you so much for blah 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 nini. I don't think
hata mimi kukutana na mimi I will receive them well.
Yeah, so and people like free. Yeah, and for you to like follow someone on Twitch inamaanisha mpaka ukae chini. I think TikTok is kind of doing it better because live streams at TikTok zina do so well.
Even too some of them.
Yeah. So at some point it might catch on. It's just that at the end of the day, bado, we've seen what's happening on TikTok. So people are having this perception of TikTok is this type of it's like a bigger platform. Yeah. Like people are not doing much, but they are telling you
tap, share the live.
I think ndo kitu ilinitoa roho TikTok. Hiyo kelele tu ya tap.
But you see, the beautiful thing about TikTok is that it has different spaces for where you want to be. If you're a nerd and you like things to do with science, kuna hiyo side ya STEM. You scroll everything to do STEM. You scroll. If you want kuingia hiyo side ya tap share the live pia unaingia ukitaka kwa ghost una scroll hapo hata profile yako ni private hakuna picha ni hiyo snail tu anaekanga. You can do that.
Sasa what kama tap thing inakuanga to mostly gossip. Gossip. Gossip and
But
drama.
people like gossip. That's the thing.
Gossip sells.
Yeah, gossip sells. And if you've noticed, even Kitambo, it's just that people are doing it differently now. Even Kitambo, there used to be magazines.
Za kugossip.
Yes.
People
magazines,
blog posts, magazines,
People used
to
like
people used to do that. It's just that looks more presentable than people doing tap. No. But it's just basically just the same thing. It just evolved.
The only way I know gossip sells ni vile BNN wame hiyo following yake tu yani kuna venye tu ndo inamlisha inamfanyia kila kitu.
People like gossip.
Anyway, speaking of which, back to your cinematography thing. Now, let me ask you, for example, now, umeshoot content na mse, for, in this case, uteme mse ka flako, and then now, hii nini yake ikaenda ika trend. So, are there royalties, ama is it usually a one-off payment, or do you have different agreements with your different clientele?
Yeah. It's not like a royalty thing, because... with Flacco, we started with Flacco way back.
Yeah.
When he was still doing music,
for one band.
Yeah. So for us, it's more of like friendship first. Then we ended up one of us. Ameenda huko mbele. So now we use that to build together. Yeah. So that's a bit different. If I was to work with somebody else, it would probably be on a contract basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be on a day's work because at the end of the day I'll just come and shoot for you and edit and then send it to you. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking at the end of the day, were it not for you, inamaanisha hii content haitatoka nje. Unaona? Yeah. So ni kama tu hii argument ya producer na musician. Unacheki producer atasema nilikupatia beat bila hii beat hakuna venye hii ngoma inge hit. So have you ever thought of it in that way? Instead of kupata payment one-off wacha tukue na royalties.
Well, technically, that's how it's supposed to work, even with the producer situation.
Yeah.
But we don't have that type of organization. Yeah.
Yet
we don't have that kind of organization in mostly us Africans hatuna hizo like systems nini so and so does this. So for us wanting to work like the way Hollywood works is a bit absurd because for Hollywood, if let's say I would say I shot the content because when I pressed record, technically I own the rights to the footage.
Of course.
Yeah. I own the rights to the footage. But it only works like that if let's say I'm paying you to do the things. Let's say for instance Hollywood, when they sign an artist, there's a certain amount of money they release to you.
So
that you're able to do your projects nini. So now when the money starts coming back in, they pay themselves nini. That's the system. That's the system. So I can't claim that content ni yangu imefika 1 million views so unafaa unilipe nini. We don't even have the systems to pay you for the views. You see places like US, TikTok is paid
for views.
TikTok is paid per view. For us, TikTok doesn't pay unless tap. So if a content creator releases the content on TikTok, they never really paid, except for YouTube. And that's even with YouTube, you need to gain a certain number
watch
of
time.
views to actually get paid well. For us, I think our CPM is it $2? I think our CPM is $2. So if you'd get 1 million views, you'd probably not get 100,000.
Yeah. So watu wana survive tu. There
are countries kama is it Australia? Wenye nini yao ni almost $10. That's all on YouTubers they can make almost 1 million from a video because for them, and it's not really like a YouTube fault thing. It's just that for them there's a lot of people buying ads. Sisi hatuna hiyo culture ya kunini ya kulipia ads. So that's our CPM.
Ukiona ad tu na skip.
So kuna a lot of companies when you wanna buy ads nini, see companies like Coca-Cola that spend millions on adverts nini. Sisi client tukienda kumwambia ati well nataka unilipe this amount of money nifanye ad, hapo tena mnaanza kusumbuana unaona. So when you notice there's only a few companies that actually use influencers nini, they run ad spots nini. So that's why most African countries and other countries work on a low CPM because your environment isn't favorable for businesses.
The circumstances.
Still have a long way to go, man.
Boran, there's a question that has been ringing in my mind. You've told us a little bit about like your childhood, growing up. You traveled a lot. Also, you really loved cartoons, a lot of fiction. When was the first time you held a camera and you're like, this is it?
So funny thing is, where I went to school, we were taught about cameras in theory. We never really had cameras.
Hiyo ilikuwa shule gani? Wacha kucheka.
Acha niseme. Let me not name.
Bro, hiyo ni facts. Even when I studied journalism in Moi, and bro, camera mimi nilikuwa nasikia tu.
They didn't have this theory. I think these days ndio at least kuna shule zenye wanakuwa nazo. Like unaambiwa this is a close up shot nini. You don't even know what a camera looks like, so you're wondering hii close up shot ni gani. Unaona. So and it's because pia most of these courses people never really used to like take them
seriously.
People never took them seriously.
Jokes.
Mtu anaona tu huyu amekuja tu hapa kupitisha time alafu ataenda.
And then when you notice the people with these schools are older generation. So only book. They believe that it's book. But for us, this is more of practical than in theory. This is you see and you learn.
True.
You see and you learn. So mimi, I think nimeshika camera right after I graduated because then nilienda internship and that's when I started handling cameras.
Ulikuwa internship wapi?
I don't even remember the name of the name. It was like a private company.
Okay. Makes sense.
But that's when I started handling cameras. But then the school I went to hakutupea opportunity ya handle equipment nini. So there's so much I didn't learn there. Unaona, it was just a point of papers and blah blah blah.
Personal
and I think when I was finishing, right then YouTube was catching up in these parts. What all gonna watch YouTube sana nini. So most of the things I know and learned were from YouTube. Most
YouTube
of the things.
University.
YouTube University.
YouTube University
requires discipline.
True.
Yeah, because it's easy to be distracted with YouTube, especially when you're learning something. At least me already I had the foundation, so I knew what to look for. And what to learn. Things like lighting, those are things I learned later. Even now, I usually dedicate, like in a day, whenever I'm on social media, I'd look at a tutorial on YouTube. Yeah, even now, I usually just 1 hour look at something nini nijikumbushe tu na niendelee. Yeah.
What year was that? Now, by the time you were finishing?
It was around 2016, towards the end of 2016.
So that's like 9 years.
It's been years. I think, that's when I then came to Kisumu end of 2017. Yeah.
From Nairobi?
From Nairobi, yeah.
What made you leave Nairobi to come to Kisumu?
What question
no,
is that?
No,
what kind of question? You are trying to sell Kisumu, you are asking someone.
That is the point. That is the point. We are still selling Kisumu. Why did somebody leave Nairobi after
Kisumu.
doing YouTube University?
Umenifanya uno reverse.
Exactly.
Nimeona kitu umefanya.
After doing that.
Nairobi was the most ideal place. It was the most ideal place. But at the time, I think, my dad lived in Kisumu.
Okay.
So your time nilikuwa narudi holidays, December holidays. So I think that was the longest I'd stayed in Kisumu for like over 2 to 3 weeks. So I was supposed to go back
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Your time. So when it got to January, I think during that time I'd met Brian Odhiambo. Odhiambo Tieno.
Yes.
Yeah. We went to the Odhiambo Tieno, the same high school. Then when I came back, we linked up, things happened, we started doing things. So when I was in Kisumu, I found it that it was so easy to do things in Kisumu. No one would ask you, why are you holding a camera in the streets? So it was so easy. Kisumu was calm. I would do things at a certain pace compared to the way Nairobi moved. And then I think at the time Nani was the governor. So Nkonde alikuwa ameingia
Nairobi,
yeah. So akiingia, I think alikuwa ameallow hawkers walikuwa wanaweza uza anywhere.
Street,
So at that time ulikuwa unatembea Nairobi streets, ulikuwa umejam tu because unagongana na watu. The street was tiny. So hapa ni gari, huku ni hawker. So nyinyi mmeachiwa tu space.
Either way utagongwa. Kama sina gari ninaoka.
Yeah. So it was so hectic. Mpaka when I came to Kisumu, I felt differently. Unaona, it was so peaceful nini. So I told myself I was to stay in Kisumu maybe for the month sasa January, because we also started doing something with Odhiambo Tieno. At that point is when Kisumu City TV was born. Because we now were doing content with them. We started doing content even before content was a thing.
Content was content.
Yeah, content was a thing. So we started doing Kisumu City TV kidogo 1 year elapsed. Second year elapsed. I stayed in Kisumu for almost 5 years. Yeah. I did 5 years in Kisumu until I left and went back.
That's crazy.
But Kisumu was the most ideal place to like do content. Yeah.
To kind of grow, have that
space. Still is because there's so much that happens in Nairobi. You have to deal with a lot to even get your content out. But then again, it's the space where everyone is. If you want to collaborate,
everyone is centered.
Is centered in Nairobi. That's where the business is. You see, if someone calls you and asks you, "We wanted to do an ad. Where are you?" And then you tell them, "I'm in Kisumu." And they're like,
You know, it's quite ironical because if someone calls you from Kisumu, they can easily pay for your flight. But now, when someone calls you from Nairobi,
Kenyans.
I've never understood that thing.
You
say you're in Kisumu, it's like you said you're in Mars.
I mean, before you contacted me already, uliona kazi nafanya.
But you have to understand, most of these people have never been outside of a certain radius. So when they have that perception of certain spaces. If somebody says Kisumu, the first thing they ask you, pale penye kuna konga na Kondele. You know what Kondele is associated with. Unaona. So for them, it's a distance until they're actually in Kisumu and they're like, oh, Kisumu is so beautiful, nini. Unaona. So it's just perception. And I think even at the time when we were doing Kisumu City TV, we had different shows at that time. We had different shows, from talk shows to comedy, nini. So there's one we wanted to do about Kisumu, just touring Kisumu. To show people what Kisumu really looked like, because when I was in Nairobi, there was that perception. When people hear that, oh, toka Kisumu, nenda Kisumu, nini, they tell you, oh, Kondele, nini. So we wanted to show how beautiful Kisumu was.
Beyond Kondele.
That was at that time. Things happened, you just know.
What killed the dream?
Kisumu City TV. I think things just changed. Interest changed. At the same time, working with people is not the easiest.
You're giving us political answers, bro.
Hey, Oscar, take your answer. Oscar, take the demure, the classy answer.
Some things happened, but again, interests change. Working with people is not the easiest at the same time, because at the time when we were doing Kisumu City TV, I was the one who was behind the camera. Then Botieno was pushing for things to happen, and more like the producer. More like the producer. And we had actors, nini. So Kisumu has a thing with its talent. When you are someone who's come from outside, you tell people, okay, we need you do this. People have a way of mi najua venye mi uifanya. Unaona?
I'm glad you put it like that.
Mi najua venye mi ufanya, and then again, Kisumu doesn't have a certain pressure. Unaona? So for you, someone who's grown up in Kisumu, never been outside Kisumu, or if you've been, you've only been for like a few days.
Ukarudi.
Unajua ukienda mahali ukae kidogo, hautaona the worst part of it. Maybe utaona tu venye kunakaa vizuri, then you go back. So there's certain things in life you don't learn the hard way. So when you tell a talent from Kisumu that you need to be here at 6 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m.
Takuja saa 3.
Takuliza, 6 a.m. anafaa kwenda lake chill, nini. But he or she is able to do that because anajua nikisimama pale tao niangalia ile direction naweza ona kwetu. Unaona? Like haitaji fare kufika kwao.
But they true,
unaona? Akifungiwa nyumba sahi.
Home
nichukue mkokoteni tutembee tufike nini. So hana hiyo pressure ya manze naweza fungiwa nyumba, I need to this, I need to do this. So it was so hard because for me nime push in a different environment that is so
pressure based,
you know. You're late, you see,
toka kwa set.
So you being so slow and I'm doing most of the work becomes so difficult.
It makes sense.
Unaona, it becomes so difficult. And for me, I'm mostly introverted, so I don't talk much.
This is
I don't talk much.
Boran talk, by the way.
Most of my thing is working. So if I'm not working and I'm waking up in the morning, especially for Kisumu City TV, I was alone doing the shooting, editing, and we have more than 3 shows, and they would all go up every day.
Kila siku.
We had a show on Monday, Tuesday. We had shows, so they had to go up. Sometimes I would sleep late. Sometimes I would sleep during the day. So I was pushing so hard because for me, I had the vision. No one was doing whatever we were doing at that time. Even the TVs hadn't shifted to social media. So if Kisumu City TV was to stand today, it would be so big. But then the acts that we had other ideas.
Who are these? Oh man.
Well,
I just want to understand because
we worked with the MC Still. I'd worked with MC Onyulo. I think that was one of our best shows because it picked up. Winnie Wadera, we had a show with Winnie Wadera. That's how I met my friend over there, Mercy.
Okay.
We had other shows, I think. I also did music videos for other artists. We had other artists that we work with. So a lot of things happened, and then it just got to me, and we just said, no, maybe I have a bigger dream. But then the people don't share it because they don't see it. Because when we were doing that with Onyulo would have been one of the biggest comedians because at that time, went to Churchill show.
I still feel like that guy is one of the biggest characters. Ni tu vile amejieka level flani yenye ajua anafaa kuelevate because that guy has content for days.
But the thing is, you can have all that.
Yeah.
You can have the talent, the content, the everything.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is discipline. Yeah. You have to be disciplined as an individual. If this is what I do, this is my discipline. Yeah. If you wake me up at 6 a.m. and then I'm asking you, oh, where's the camera? Why am I asking you that? And you're the one in front of the camera. I'm the one behind the camera. Yeah. So if this is what you do and this is what makes you money, that's your discipline. Yeah. You treat it as so. It's your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without it, you don't eat. Without it, you don't have a space to sleep in. Yeah. So that's your discipline. So you can have all of that, but if you're not disciplined, you stay where you are.
Deep talk, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kisumu, do you feel Kisumu has potential? Because I feel Kisumu has potential to create or bring up new creators and all that. Nivile, I don't know, Lumesema, people have this perception about Kisumu because there are a lot of talents in Kisumu that have not been given that chance to be featured in various places, you know, because most of them are they're like, oh, Nairobi creators, oh, wanajulikana. Because I feel kuna zile hidden talents. Let me start with the ideal upper, because they've not been given that open space, but at least
bro, we are still in our infant stage.
Yeah, but we are creating our own. Let me in the Kisumu aspect. Because most of the kuna people who have content, people who have a lot of ideas, but wakikaa then are like, oh, me niko east side of Kisumu, who will look at me, wanaangalia to people who are in Nairobi, the top creators and all that. Do you feel Kisumu has potential?
Yeah, Kisumu does. I think that's why I even stayed in Kisumu for 5 years. Because if it didn't, I would have left immediately. Yeah, but it does, and it still does.
Yeah,
it's just that presentation is very important. Yeah,
key.
Yeah, the presentation is key. You can't say, oh, Nairobi, blah blah blah, but you do the opposite. Yeah,
you don't present yourself well.
You're not
professional.
Not consistent with your posts. Yeah. You don't do things professionally. You don't collab with
people.
You're not disciplined.
If you're called for meetings, you're not there on time.
You're not there on time. You complain. First of all, the enemies, the biggest enemy of every individual is complaining. Yeah, you already know what you need to do.
Yeah,
but you would rather say, sizi fanya hijo, nini, si nice. There's a lot of people. Well, if an iPhone is the problem, I'm pretty sure that you know someone who has one. You could collab with them, but you don't want to because you feel like that's competition. Yeah, and then there's that energy towards each other. We work together, but I feel like nani anakuanga.
Bro, mi kwanza siwezi kudanganya. Kisumu, I feel like kuna watu wana feel like already washafika. So
thank you.
Wewe ni nani? Who are you?
Thank you. Who are you to tell me how to do this thing? Yet I've been doing it like this. And it seems to have been working for me. I've managed to get some to coins hapa na pale.
So
then you're coming with your system. You understand?
But if whatever you do requires people to know you or requires you to have a certain amount of money and you're not there yet, I don't think you should stand up and say, oh, Mina, I already know. You don't know. You're not even there yet. You should keep an open mind and work with people.
And then there are these idiots who feel like they owned on our own. Without them, you can't breathe. Without them, you can't.
Yeah, we experience a lot of that in Kisumu. Actually, when we were doing Kisumu City TV, people would tell us things. But you see, for me, I'm not a very talkative person. So when you talk to me, my go-to is I'll smile and chuckle.
Smile and wave.
I'll chuckle and then sawa. Yeah, but there's so much. So when there's a way when you talk to me, there's a certain conversation you wouldn't get from me.
Yeah.
So even if you are to learn something from me, you would never, because I've left the chat. Yeah. So if I'm talking to you and you keep an open mind, it's easier to learn from me. There's so much that I know that I would like to share. But ukishaanza we did experience a lot of that. And let me tell you, when we were doing Kisumu City TV, we only had one camera. And at the time, we hadn't even invested in sound. We didn't have lighting. We only had, I think I'd gotten a light later on, one light. It was one camera and it was a Nikon D5300.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nilitumia camera vizuri sana. Like you wouldn't know it's a
pesa
Nikon.
yake.
It did. Yeah. You wouldn't even know it was that camera. No. So I was able to do so much with so little. Yeah. So I don't feel like you should be in a space to say, oh, what on Nairobi this, what on Nairobi that.
Yeah.
people, these content creators these days wako na so much access.
Yeah.
Unaona, there's YouTube, there's TikTok. I'm pretty sure kenda tu how to. There's a million of how
there's
to.
There's AI.
Squeezy, there's refurbished phones. There's high-end phones. You'd probably get an iPhone for like
bro, kuna hadi lipa mdogo mdogo.
Kuna lipa mdogo mdogo. Unaona. There's so much access that if you were to focus on that as your craft, outa complain at all what on Nairobi. I think in Kisumu there's people who've actually pushed a little. That's Ombuti. I've seen Razi. I've seen Gabiro. No, they've done so much with so little.
But still, is it global content?
Well,
it is. Do you know I can say it is? Especially with TikTok. You're not on TikTok. That's why I know you're asking like that. Especially with TikTok. You can find somebody has a huge fan base in a particular place. But hapa bado tujamninile sana. We feel like, sini nani. But uko Germany, sijui where and where.
Bro, mi siwezi kudanganya. I don't feel like it's global content. I feel like we could still do a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
That's definitely, but you have to start either way.
Yeah. You start
somewhere. A lot of work
you can't start for 10 years. Yeah? That's a lie. That's a fucking lie.
Well, ikishapita 1 year.
That's a whole different.
Startup story. A startup inaisha after 3 years. You can't classify yourself as a startup beyond 3 years.
Beyond 3
years.
I
feel like watu kuna tu there is a certain following yenye wamepata yenye sasa msee miwezi ni show shit. Unacheki. And haifai ikuwa hivyo.
Yeah, that's where people go wrong. Like I said, you have to keep an open mind. With as much as that I know, if someone comes up to me naanza kuniambia ufai kushika kamera hivyo, I usually listen. Yeah, I probably know better than you, but I just listen.
Because you never know.
Yeah, what can I pick up? Yeah. Or akiniambia hivi na hivi, then I say, oh, this is wrong. Acha nimwambie hivi na hivi. You have to keep an open mind because like I said, no one has a formula to anything. Uko hapa set because ulitaka. Ulizaliwa tu. Unaona.
Ulishtukia tu umefika.
The thing, your environment is not something you chose. Yeah. These are things that just shaped you. No. So now you have to keep an open mind. You have to unlearn a lot of things. So for you to grow, you have to unlearn. No. You have to unlearn a lot of things. Yes, you have a large following. Yes, you're doing all these things. But the people who know better than you do. So keep an open mind, collab with people. Especially for a space like Kisumu, I feel like you should be collaborating more because that's what skyrocketed Nairobi.
Yeah.
They collabed a lot. So now an audience that has never seen you will see you.
Yeah.
That's how it works. You feed off each other's audiences. But wewe ukiamka asubuhi ni ile yako tu kila siku. It becomes a different thing.
Anyway, enough of Kisumu. So let me ask you, your first ever ni video yenye kazi yenye ulifanya kwanza ukasema bro, this is what I want to stick to. Ilikuwa gani?
Well, I would say I was lucky enough because when I just finished college, I had a friend that had introduced me to alisikia nani Emos Kimunya wanted someone to do photographs for him and then adverts for his spaces, one in Mombasa and then in Nyali, then the other one was in Mudaiga. And she mentioned my name. And that's how I kicked off. Nandani pia hiyo pesa nililipo ili ni motivate sana.
Bro, this is
yes.
So like I said, I think I was lucky enough because my first ever job, like job outside of the attachment was someone prominent and I was paid well, so I felt like okay, this is something I would definitely do.
And your worst ever gig? Bro, I cast the others during mbona nilibeba equipment.
Actually, when I was moving out of Kisumu, that was one of the reasons I actually now finally just caved in.
Walikufanyia ile kitu.
Yeah. There's a project I had done. It was a documentary. I think it was like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks doing things. It was specific days but spread out. So these days I would not take other jobs because nilikuwa nafaa kwenda kufanya hii. And there are certain things they needed. I would hire nini, so I would use my own money to do some of those things. Now wajaniekea deposit.
We.
it was a good amount of money. I think that pia ni something that I learned from because makosa ilikuwa ni yangu. I never did my due diligence.
Was it an individual ama ilikuwa?
It was an organization actually.
In Kisumu?
Yeah. I think at that time, the person who had called me for the job, apparently alikuwa na plan ku exit the organization.
Sasa angekuambia tu.
Hakuniambia.
Ulikuwa collateral yani.
I guess.
Ama lilipwa kaenda na hiyo do.
No, hakulipwa though. I think what was happening in easy organizations zenye ukitoka they pay you a certain amount, they give you ni per diem.
Na per diem.
Mlienda mahali unaandikisha tulienda huku.
We did this.
So I think he was using that as an opportunity to get there.
The chums and
the chums hizo kidogo then because I think our pia kwa melipwa for a while because the organization was also moving offices to I think kwa na pesa niseme tu hivyo.
Why does that organization sound familiar? Sijui but ina sound familiar.
So sema kama ni mali ulitoka?
Baghdad.
Asi hiyo.
But si Baghdad but it sounds familiar.
When they did that I think I just got tired because also I don't like to follow up money a lot. It's
bro inataka niyo kitu ni boma.
Unasema unanipatia kazi tena kazi nyingine ya kubando.
Hadi wewe mwenyewe una feel ni kana now you are a bother.
Like why am I doing that? When you looked for me and told me I wanted this and this and this, I did it diligently. Hatujai kwa sana nini. I delivered. Then why am I nini? They never even used the final product because it was a whole thing.
Kai.
Yeah, it was a whole thing and then finally I just said, you know what?
To hell with it.
Jamani forget.
I just exited Kisumu and here we are.
Bro, ilikuwa pesa ngapi?
Pesa mingi sana. Unajua tu usinge work maybe for like 3 months hivi.
Such is life.
But such is I've encountered such. Well, most of these is kuanga pesa kidogo, you let it go nini. But unajua pia the thing with big money is you have high expectations.
Sure.
Unaanza kutumia pesa
ushaanza kubudget
nitabuy hii and then you know for us creatives we're so invested in equipment.
Sure.
I would like to have this like this. So that taught me a lot even with the way I purchase equipment because tunakuanga stuck on tuko na new gear syndrome. When you see something new you want it. So it taught me a lot and these days I handle money a bit differently. So I guess it kind of a lesson either way.
Another thing I would say in Kisumu I've realized kuna hii ufala ya sijui mtu tu akishamaliza form 4 amenunuliwa kamera sasa yeye anajiona ni videographer mwingine mmoja hatari. So inafanya we have a huge influx in a sense that if someone gets a gig of course rate card yako iko juu unajua you deliver you deliver a good job but at the end of the day umse ataenda atafuta ule mse wa 3000 amfanyie hiyo kazi.
I know someone
alafu complain as in
I also experienced that a lot in Kisumu. Someone would call me because they've seen my work then I give them the quote and then kidogo someone has underquoted me. No. And Kisumu suffers a lot from that.
That's one thing.
From underquoting.
Ina suffer a lot from that. So unapata mtu amefanya this thing for long but hana the money. But pia understand it's because an underquote. The people would pay you the money that you actually ask for. But they would also get excited when you tell them less amount of money. Unaona. Because some of these organizations even get people from Nairobi, natalipiwa flight, alipiwe nyumba, nini. So those are things I would see and then when you call me and then you tell me nani wanted to take this so you want my expertise with the amount of the same person
who is not me
ajafika hata hapo unaona so you as someone who's also starting out getting a camera doesn't necessarily mean you've gone professional. It takes time to learn. It took me 5 years. That is even right
to
after
master
school.
The craft,
right after school. I still had 5 years to get to where I am, where ukiniambia we kuja job I would know what do I need nini like if you call me for a job I'll ask you okay ni wapi nini so I would know what to carry
so that you prep
with everything. If I show up to the job I look at the location I already know okay hapa sitafanya kazi mingi nitafanya hii na hii unaona so it takes time to learn and to get to this so hizi vitu zote keep an open mind always learn take time off your day. You just need 1 hour. Learn something.
I think that's it. That's our time, unless Hawi, you have another question. I feel like this conversation, after we've not even gotten to know you as
Boran, yeah.
To discuss vitu mob sana and
but there's a lot of wisdom pia umetupatia yenyewe.
And I feel like we still have a lot more we can learn from you.
Definitely.
Yeah, because hiyo vision nilikuwa nao na the Kisumu City thing TV, it's the vision we still hold up to today. Yeah, so it's something that for us we want to run with, but also ukitupatia insights, the challenges and you underwent and all those things. At least now we can know vile tunaweza maneuver. Yeah, and we can learn also these things. So this is just the beginning of the conversation. I believe love yako ya Kisumu hata ka Kisumu TV
niko huko.
Love ya Kisumu bado iko. This door is always open.
Sure.
Conversations anytime. If we call you bro, and we really appreciate ulikuja.
No
so ndo tumeanza kuongea sasa. So even you, if you have an idea, feel free to share with us where we can collab, where we can work. Tutaona vile we'll go through. Any final questions?
Na collabo. I don't have any questions.
Right?
No, I don't have.
You're cool. So your parting shot. Advice kwa niseme want to be cinematographer someone.
Aspiring. The word is aspiring.
Yeah, the word is aspiring actually. It's not easy. First of all, it's not really easy because you have to balance learning your passion and commercializing your passion. The challenges you face. You have goals, you have desires to have certain things, but you only get there when you give yourself some grace and time. You have to give yourself grace. If you don't have lighting equipment, you necessarily don't have to kill yourself over it. You just have to be patient enough. Do as much as you can. You can do side hustles, and then you get there. But it takes time.
Chaka.
Wait, talking of side hustles, it's good you've mentioned that in your parting shot. Kuna side hustle lingine ulifanya cause hii yote tumejua tu ulishika camera na zikamuok zikaenda kuenda. Kuna side hustles zingine ulifanya hapo
katika financial advices tumepatiwa hapa.
Nimefanya a lot because but still just that direction because I also do websites, comic books, things like that, other businesses. So hii ni passion, but then at the end of the day you still have to supplement with other things. You also have to learn the things you don't want to learn. You just have to understand them and you get there.
Utoke comfort zone.
Toka tu comfort zone yako, step out tu kidogo, understand hii kitu inawaka aje. Unaonanga venye watu forex wanakuambia nilipe fanya hivi.
Wezi yao.
You have to take makosa ni yako because you're not doing your due diligence.
Si nimefanya due diligence na nikajua ni wezi.
It's just not for you.
So ukiibiwa
no, they're thieves.
It's not for you.
They are thieves.
I know. You're telling somebody who I went and gave somebody my $200.
So that is the perfect example of what I was saying.
A trade for me. Ati nipate percentage back. I didn't get one bob.
Speaking of which, kuna mtu nilipatia pesa ni trade. Wacha ndamtafuta leo.
So you have to take your time to be uncomfortable. You have to learn the most uncomfortable things. Mtu akikwambia nitumie pesa tufanye hii, take your time, get out of that comfort zone.
Do due diligence.
Learn nini. Get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Easy doesn't come easy. Easy
episode title.
Easy doesn't come easy. Of
so
course, it's been fantastic as usual here on the Ideal Corner podcast. Boran, please, we'll definitely share all your social media tags and everything so that anybody who wants to see the work of this man's hands,
they can
you can go and see it. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to comment. We're still looking for Oscar's Bay.
Who is we? You. You are the one who is looking. What's telling me I'm looking?
Thank you. We.
Why do you want to force me, man?
We're not trying to force you.
I told you my people are ghosts.
Hao maghost wako lazima watokelezea at least mtu mmoja atokelezea aseme ndio mimi.
And this is the way we ghost out, man.